Hi, my name is Dan with Droneblog.com. Today's video will act as a tutorial discussing the various aspects of the map and radar and should help new Mini 3 owners understand and use both tools in the DJI Fly app. First, we're going to look at the map. When you first go into live view, you'll see a map in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. For most, it is an exact representation of the surrounding area, whereas for some, it appears like a tiny 1x1 icon. Simply tap the icon to get into map view. Now there's various map symbols that we'll notice. Once in the map view, you'll see the following symbols. A blue arrow. This shows the direction of the drone. If you turn the drone in any direction, you'll see this represented on screen. The blue dot. This represents the current position of the remote controller. Because the RC is being held, wherever you move, this blue dot will move, as long as the RC is in hand. Lastly, there's a yellow circle with an H. This represents the home point where the GPS signal locked in and the Mini 3 took off from. Now the blue dot and the yellow circle will normally be fairly close together unless you're walking or biking around the general area, after which you'll see an increase in distance between the blue circle and the H. Now, we're going to talk about in-flight. For this section, we'll look at the map in its expanded mode. To get into this mode, which essentially swaps the live view screen with the map, tap the map and it'll go into an expanded map view. As you fly the Mini 3 out some distance, you'll see a blue line. Now if you begin to move the drone in any direction, in this instance sideways, you'll begin to notice that there are now two developing lines. The blue line is the path of the drone, and the reddish line is the path directly back to the home point, the yellow circle with the H. This is especially useful if you lose sight of the Mini 3 and need help determining the direct path back to the home point. Now while in the expanded view, or even the standard smaller view, you can tap the tiny negative or plus to change the zoom view of the map. Now we'll move on to the radar. Radar view is an interesting tool as it removes the map and brings you into a view that shows the position, orientation, and level of the Mini 3 without any sort of map data. To get into the radar view, you must be in the standard map view. Now if you're currently in the expanded map view, to get back into standard map view, tap on the live view screen. Now once in normal view, on the bottom right of the map screen, press the small circle with an arrow in the middle of it. Like with map view, the following symbols apply: the blue dot, a blue arrow, and a yellow circle with an H. In addition to these symbols, you also see the four compass directions: north, south, east, and west. Something that might stand out is the half bluish-green semicircle on the bottom of the radar. This is the horizon level. When the Mini 3 is maneuvering or even hovering in wind, you'll see this area move based on the pitch of the drone. Because of the compact setup of the radar screen, you will always know the Mini 3's direction, its home point, and location of the remote controller. Now, reading the radar, it's not as complex as it might initially seem. In the standard view, the drone operator, you, is in the center of the screen, and the drone rotates around you. Now, when you're behind the drone and it is facing out, the blue arrow, representing the Mini 3, will be at the top of the radar screen. As you physically turn away from the Mini 3, let's say to the left, you'll see that arrow is on the right of the screen, and vice versa as you continue to turn. If you turn all the way around, the blue arrow will now be at the bottom, showing that it is behind you. If you'd like, you can change the view to have the Mini 3 in the center of the screen. To do this, tap on the little arrow on the top left of the radar screen. Now, the home point and RC are shown in relation to the Mini 3. Many operators disregard this particular option and use the standard radar view previously mentioned. Now briefly we'll talk about returning to home. Although there are no lines to guide the Mini 3 back to you, getting back to the home point is quite simple if the Mini 3 is ever out of your line of sight. To return home manually, while in the standard view, simply turn the drone around so that the arrow faces you and proceed to fly towards the blue dot or home point. That's it, nice and simple. Whether in map view or the radar map, if you have an understanding of what the various symbols mean, you should always be able to navigate back to your home position. Well, that's all for this video. If you find these types of video tutorials helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. For more tutorials and reviews, head to Droneblog.com.